Welcome back to the realistic road to glory. We have just 2 competitions to focus on now, remaining for the rest of the season, which might become 1, depending on how well today's episode goes. We lost to Huddersfield in the FA Cup last time out. We're still losing money per month, but the January transfer window is around the corner, and we have some money to spend, so we might be losing a little bit more. We might move on a couple of players as well, potentially. So the financial situation and scenario at the club may well be changing as time goes by. We start with a game against Crewe in League 2 today. We've got the knockout rounds of the Virtu Trophy to come. We've got Walsall, fellow League 2 side, in that vein. We do have 3 press conference questions for you at the beginning of the day, so thank you for those that keep coming in, and do please keep them coming in. Make sure you drop the video a like as well. It really helps push the content to new audiences and just in general helps the channel. And do make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any further content. First message comes from Jay Jewett, who says, with the leaks happening, of course referencing our previous tactical leak to the press, it says, will there be an investigation to see if administration or players were involved in it being leaked? An in-depth internal investigation has been carried out, and it turns out that I, in the dressing room, hadn't flipped round the old whiteboard, and a member of the press walked past my managerial office and saw it. Took a picture of it on his phone, and that's how it was leaked out. So it's actually me. I'm the one at fault for the tactics leak, which is something we will have to make sure we look into in the future. Keep your manager's office door shut, Ches, is the answer there, I think. Secondarily, we get a message from Adam Curtis that says, do you have a vision for the tactics and formation going forward? And will you look to make signings and develop youth players around that vision? Or are you going to switch up around what is available to you? I think, in general, it's good to have a managerial ethos. And so far, we're doing well with the 4-2-3-1 that we're utilising. So it makes sense to keep going with that in the short term. But I'm not going to do an Amorim and just stubbornly stick to the one tactic. If we get a worldy youth player come through, or a superb signing becomes available that we can bring in and build a new squad around and make tweaks tactically accordingly, then I would be silly not to do that. You always want to make sure you put out your best team in the best way you can. And I would always try my best to do that. Kind of based on that, with regards to the youth side of things, JB Sports asks about the obviously higher amount of games that you play in the lower leagues, with 3 cup competitions and 46 league games as well. Do we think we have the squad depth at the minute to keep up with the amount of games that we're playing? So far, yes. But obviously with the transfer window coming, that may change. But again, we're already out of 2 cup competitions, so it might not be an issue this year, but potentially moving forward, we'll have to manage the squad depth, of course. And it says, does this mean we'll see a lot of younger players like McConnell and Hoddle? I think already this season, we have seen Glenn McConnell even not just get some squad football, but actually nail down a first-team spot very regularly. Glenn McConnell has played 20 games so far this season, 15 of which in League 2. George Hoddle has played 6 games in League 2, as well as been heavily utilised in the cup football we've played so far this season, and will continue to do so. Obviously, we want George and Glenn to have the opportunity to continue to be part of the squad, continue to grow and have an impact on the first team, and fingers crossed they will continue to do that moving forward. They haven't shown any reason why is not to use them thus far. So, game number 1 today. Speaking of Glenn McConnell, purely on in-game reasoning, we're going to put the 61 rated Kachunga in there over the 59 rated, or 57 rated, I can't remember which one, McConnell. And we get 3-0 win. As Ben Knight comes off the bench for Kachunga, as Silai Kaikai gave us a 1-0 lead, and Apaway gave us the second. Crewe bested. Good. That's how I really needed that to go at the beginning of today's episode, quite frankly, because we've got a busy fixture list, and a fixture list with some more difficult fixtures on the horizon. Obviously, we want to try and get through in the cup if we can for prize money. So Crewe being the lowest ranked side of those that we're playing today, and the only home game in the league that isn't Chesterfield, wanted to make sure we got a win there, and we have done. So we'll plough on to the game against Chesterfield, and hopefully against the Spyrites we can get a similar scoreline. Chesterfield then come with Will Dixon up top for them. Not Tom Naylor in the defensive line is going to be pretty solid. He's a former Cambridge United man. But there's not a lot of standout talent there, really. They're 11th in the table, though. And certainly, I'm sure if we looked at the actual points tallies in the table, Chesterfield will be in with a shout of getting themselves a playoff spot this season. They are a sizable club, to be fair, Chesterfield, and would have been disappointed as a fan base to have found themselves dropping to the National League, etc. Now, I'm not sure. I think this video is going to come out after the video in the Journeyman where we mention it. Not that it really matters in terms of spoilers for the Journeyman, but in the Journeyman save, Cambridge United, in this first season, got themselves promoted to League One via the playoffs. So I'm hoping that we might maybe do the same. Wait and see. I'm going to have to not concede to Chesterfield more though, aren't I, to do that. 1-0 to the Spyrites. Not the ideal start. Hoddle. Go to Mpanzu. McConnell's on the shoulder of the defender, but we use Brophy, then go to McConnell. That's worked really well. Back to Brophy again, and here's Pelly Ruddock and Mpanzu. Missed the box crasher himself. Oh, it's really, really particularly poor from the Chesterfield number 1. It's unacceptable, really. It wasn't a shot that was too difficult to handle, you wouldn't have thought, from Pelly Ruddock and Mpanzu, but turns out the goalkeeper thought so. Smashed from the edge of the box. It was straight at him. I don't know whether it moved in the air or maybe he was slightly unsighted. It's great agility from Louis Apperet to finish it in quite such a fashion, but certainly the goalkeeper should have done better with that. Not that I'm really going to complain, because it means that we're back level at 1-1 in the 26th minute. And Chesterfield are starting to make mistakes left, right and centre now. Have we rattled them? Are we maybe going to start to kick into overdrive now? And take this game to them and hopefully come away with a more straightforward victory than the opening 8 minutes would have said that we might have done. Behind it. Could find a teammate. Has found a teammate. Stirk. And Berry gets past Hoddle. And Croker makes a very good save to ensure that Chesterfield don't extend another lead over us. Delivery's decent. Oh, cross-claimer is your playstyle, Max. I'd rather you claimed things like that, please. Well in, Pelly Ruddock and Mpanzu. That was a very important interception, wasn't it? Plenty of room out wide here on the right-hand side for Ben Knight if the pass had made it. Or that even the deflection had made it. Berry now. Not Luke Berry. There was a... is he onside? He is. There was a request in the comment section that we re-sign players like Harry Darling and Luke Berry at some point in this save. As former Cambridge United players that have obviously gone on to careers at higher levels. We have signed both back, I think, throughout the course of... good save again. Of previous RTGs with Cambridge. Certainly... Harry Darling, I think, was involved in the FC26 realistic RTG with Cambridge, so I'm not sure we will on this occasion. Che Dunkley is not going to be the man, hopefully, to give them a 2-1 lead. But Crocombe's been a bit iffy here, hasn't he? Some parries where he could have caught, and that was really awkward indeed, where it could have fallen straight to a striker to tuck home the same way it did at the other end. 1-1 at the break, but both goalkeepers look shaky. Oh, where to go? Pelly Ruddock's there. Is Brophy going to make me the run around the corner? I think that's going to be a corner. I hope it's a corner. It's a corner. Come on then. Got plenty of tall men in the box, but I don't know if we've scored many corners directly like this, have we? 1 or 2 maybe at most. McConnell lays that to McLaughlin, who certainly struck it well enough, but Hemming keeps it out with a better save this time. Strong right arm there. Pelly Ruddock's arriving at the right time again, of course, as he always does, looking for the ball around the corner and messing the pass up. So we'll stay at 1-1 at the beginning of the second half. Well up Morrow, love that. And I see the run that Ben Knight's on, but he's not getting anywhere near that pass. More difficult, actually. On the back of that Huddersfield defeat in the last episode as well, I'm not sure I like the trend of the way that things are going at the moment. I hope we don't have that old school mid-season wobble that we used to have in long-term RTGs. We are certainly vulnerable to a December, January, February poor run of form before picking up again about March. Big save by the feet of Crocombe. He has the footwork, play style as well, and very much needed it there. Let's take Ben Knight off for Lavs. We'll pop Lavs on the other side. Doesn't really matter. He gets a -3 anywhere. I think I'm going to move McLaughlin into midfield for George Hoddle, and then we'll bring Zach Bradshaw on at left back as well. Hopefully he can get some more first team football here. Try and get a bit of growth out of him. They're making some changes as well. Both sides want to win this game, but only one side can. And it hopefully won't be them, although it could very nearly have been. Oh, Lavs is off the bench and Lavs is on the run and Shane Lavery's in behind and Shane Lavery does this all the time. But he hasn't scored. And Pansy with the corner. It's decent. Morrow's up. Lavs is up. Oof, wide. He makes an impact, doesn't he, Lavery off the bench? Go on then. Go on, bros. Aye, brilliant interception. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw then. It's frustrating not to build on the... Hang on. Go on, Glenn, you've done it before. It's frustrating not to build on the win against Crewe. But we're not going to build on the win against Crewe. It's a 1-1 draw against Chesterfield, which is annoying, really. And with a cup game coming in... Oh, I don't think it deserves the booze, though. With a cup game coming in a few days' time, we'll have to make sure that we play better than that. Otherwise, we'll be going out the Virtu Trophy. Walsall. They were somehow not promoted last year. One of the biggest fall-offs I think I've ever seen in terms of a thrown-away promotion. They're there or thereabouts again in real life this year. This is obviously a cup game, so they might well have made some changes to their starting lineup. We certainly have. So in terms of what sort of quality of opposition we'll face here and what test we'll face here, I'm not entirely too sure. But absolutely, we know that they are one of the better sides at the level if they put their strongest side out. So we know that regardless of what side we put out, we should have a test against ourselves today. Hopefully, it's a test we can pass. We get the exact same prize money whether we win or lose in this round of the Virtu Trophy. But obviously, the further you go in the competition, the more prize money you get. So let's just go further in the competition, shall we, if we can. 20 grand for participating in this round. But we hope to participate in the next round too. But Catch is going to have to be onside for that. Holman again. Out to Barrett, thank you. Into Bradshaw. Thank you very much. I mean, there's a lot of room here. Just make the right pass at the right time. So that might have been Catch. He loves a goal in the Virtu Trophy, does Elias Kachunga. But he doesn't love it so much that he's going to score every time he gets a one-on-one opportunity outside of the post. Mr. Kachunga, could you not, please? That has to go in, mate. Quite frankly, every time. Adam Mayer will show you how. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's how you do it. Cambridge 1, Walsall 0. We will take the lead. Oh, picked off well by Ball. Nice idea to play that pass, but it hasn't quite worked. So the Kawasi round the corner here. No. Why the ball into the space to try and utilise the pace of Killian. Not able to be done. Bradshaw's out of position here. A bit too far forward. And, well, Morrow's not going to catch anyone for pace. Unless it's Per Mertesacker when he's 55. Corner to come in as Eastwood makes the save, thankfully. But that's going to be won well by Aaron Presley, but not aimed well by Aaron Presley. Finnegan tackled by Hoddle. Chased that down well. Adam Mayer and Kachinga. Mayer's going to go again. Can Kawasi get himself in a spot in the middle to have the chance? Yes, he can put himself in the spot, but he didn't win the header. Jealous. Back to Rakeem Harper. That's a nice ball as well. Zeno. Oh, they've got the squared ball available. He's inexplicably gone for the 1-2 there. I can't tell you why he's done that. If Aaron Presley just has that shot there, surely that's 1-1. Surely that's 1-1. Here comes Gibbo. It's Mayer again, then to Kawasi. And after they should have made it... Oh, after they should have made it 1-1, we very nearly make it 2-0. 15 to go. It's not comfortable, but the lead is still ours. Ball. I mean, the changes that we made, or attempted to make, about 15 in-game minutes ago, haven't had a chance to come on yet. Oh, Kouassi. I'm glad that we didn't commit to playing Kylian Kouassi as our #1 striker. Otherwise, we'd be nowhere near where we are in the table. And I'm glad that Appere and Lavery have proven to be adequate goal scorers for us at the level, because if Kouassi was the one we were having to rely on to win us games, we wouldn't be where we are in the league, and we wouldn't be heading through to the next round of the Virtu Trophy. We also wouldn't be doing that if it weren't for Sheikh Eastwood in goal there with a brilliant leaping save with the last action of the half and hopefully game. We are into the middle. Oh, and Presley's hooked that on. Is he onside here, Holman? He is, but can't find a teammate. That's the final whistle. Not sure. Well, A, there wouldn't be this many people at a game in the Virtu Trophy. And B, I'm not sure getting to the third round of it warrants quite such an explosion. But a win's a win, and we'll take it. And on to the next one, which is going to be a very difficult one against MK Dons. So the situation in the league is that MK Dons are 3 points behind us. We're a single point behind Bristol Rovers at the top of the table. And we're only 4 points above the 3 sides just outside the automatic promotion spots, being Shrewsbury, Bromley and Swindon. Walsall there in 7th are only a further point back. Salford similarly 1 point. Fleetwood 1 point. County, it's just all the way down to 14th. You're just going a point at a time. So all it takes is one side to win 2 or 3 games on the bounce, and for you as a team to not win 2 or 3 games on a bounce, you can start tumbling quite certainly. So we'd have to make sure that we keep our form up here if we possibly can. We, at the moment in time, have ourselves a decent run of form, obviously, with the draw against Chesterfield was annoying. But we beat Crewe, we beat Barnet, we beat Barrow. But actually the defeat to Salford was quite damning there. And we've got a couple of draws recently too. So we're not necessarily just waltzing through games, are we? MK Dons is going to be, I would imagine, the toughest test of the division so far. They are the side that I tested the sliders with, and we really struggled, quite frankly, in almost every game that we played against them in this setup. So with obviously my side having grown, I think we should find it a bit more straightforward, or a bit less difficult, so to speak. But it's still not going to be easy at all away from home here. And, well, I think, quite frankly, we have to take the opportunity to play in that kit, don't we, really? So, here we go. MK Dons away from home at Stadium MK. They are also an automatic promotion hunting side, so it's a must not lose at the very least. Well, they have the best goal scoring record in the league. We have the best defensive record in the league. Strength versus strength. Here, it's the immovable object and the unstoppable force, as opposed to vice versa in the journeyman at Brunner, as we've encountered recently. But things might be starting to look a bit brighter in Norway in the journeyman save. And hopefully things will maintain the positive trajectory we've been on here in this save. You can see that they've got some tall physical players in there. Mendes Lang is obviously a very good player for the level. Callum Patterson too, to be fair. And they've obviously been putting the ball in the back of the net quite regularly, as you saw from that graphic. So Craig McGillivray in goal for them. Luke Offord, Marvin Ekpateta at centre-back's very solid for the level as well. Former Rotherham, I think, centre-back. They're playing a 4-3-3. Hepburn Murphy is quick on the wing as well. They are a very good side, MK Dons. And they're performing as you would expect them to in the league. As are we. So, 2 good sides coming up against each other here. And, well, we'll just have to wait and see which is the better of the two at this stage of the season, won't we? It's a nice little cutback. And the ball in. And I've flattened him. That's just one of them, innit? I've won the ball fairly. Flattened the man. And then the ball's gotten stuck underneath my guy's feet. And Patterson has just taken it away from him and buried it. But a couple of goals like that recently that have been particularly frustrating, both in this save and the journeyman. Sometimes there's just not really much you can do. That's one of those. I hope that isn't going to come back to haunt us and that that's not the only goal of the game, because that would be quite a disappointing way to lose a fixture of this magnitude. Thompson Summers to Patterson. Holds off Pelirada Kampanzu, which is not very easily done. And Kelly. Collar again. Alright. 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 They just clicked up a gear there, didn't they, as they were building their way through. The guy in his Big Bird beat looking resplendent in the evening sunshine. Scoreline does not look resplendent at the minute, and I'd very much like it to change in our favour sooner rather than later. I'll try and get Brophy in behind if I can, but proving quite difficult to do at the minute. Taste Brophy, for some reason, just isn't really positioning himself where I'd want him to so far in this game. Keep it in. I was going to say, the option is there. Kane Wilson's done very well. He's done really well. We have not been at it in the opening 20 minutes of this one. We need to fix up Hepburn Murphy. Not going to catch him in a foot race, but for strength, and Panzu does well. Looking for, not you, Louis, actually, but it's fallen to McConnell, who was the man I was trying to find with a lofted ball. And now Appare's out of position. I could be able to get the ball into him here. Cool. So when I look for McConnell, I find Appare. When I look for Appare, I find McConnell. Go on. Score a worldie. Get it on target, maybe? To start? Alright, good. I'll have that, thank you. I won't have that, apparently. Heliona Campanzi couldn't get it under control quickly enough. Few wide right for Soleil. Needs a good touch. Has one, but then second touch is a bit too heavy and takes it straight to Mendes Lang. Kelly around the outside the defensive unit here. And MK Dons are continually looking just as dangerous at the beginning of the second half as they were in the first, and have added to the scoreline as a result. In the 61st minute, Hepburn Murphy makes it 2-0 to MK Dons. He had a loan spell at Cambridge, Rashawn Hepburn Murphy from Aston Villa. Was utterly average at best. Here at MK Dons, though, he seems to be doing the business. Patterson across, and, well, fullback just didn't stay with him, did he, unfortunately? We are absolutely, I'd say now, given the way that we've played so far in this game, going to be losing this fixture. I don't see a 2-goal minimum comeback at this moment in time, do you? He's made those changes like 10 minutes ago. It's just not worked for us. I'll look for McConnell here. And Glenn, hopefully we'll get in behind. Oh my God, the pace of the defender. Thompson, Sommers, dearie me. Just completely ruined Glenn McConnell there. McConnell had like a 5-yard head start, and still the defender got back to him. Well, it would be consolation goal only if we get one now. That hit a hand? No, nothing. Absolutely nothing in this one. Fair play, MK Dons. They fully deserved that victory. Well, we did have a not comfortable gap, but a gap nonetheless to the playoff spots. That's going to be MK Dons above us. And, well, if everyone else below us won, we're going to be perilously close to falling out of those automatic promotion spots, aren't we? We've had a transfer bid for Corey Smith, who's running out of contract, but I've added him to the transfer list to try and get some money for him between now and the end of the season. Or between now and the end of the month, sorry, so that he moves in January and we actually get some pennies for him. And it looks like Lincoln might well be the side. Obviously, a League One side. I'm quite simply just going to accept the 260,000, really. I cannot afford to let any money go. We've got a bid. Oh, that's going to be from... Is it Rotessen? Yeah, Rot-Weiss Essen. I'm going to reject that because that's not a realistic bid, obviously, from a German side like that. 11 player contracts expire soon. Well, we shall have to work our way through and figure out who we want to keep and who we don't want to keep, won't we, at some point soon? Because otherwise we will be left with about 4 players. But right now, the focus is still on trying to get promotion at this particular moment in time. MK Dons are now above us on goal difference. We're a point above Bromley. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 points above those respective sides down there. So we're still in the automatic promotion spots, but not far away from the playoffs. We're 5 points from those outside the playoffs. We've got a couple of games there to allow the occasional defeat or draw, etc. And Bristol Rovers have only picked up a single point on that previous match, staying on from 38 to 39. So it's not been as bad as it could have been. Still not been great, though. In the next episode on Monday, we'll have the rest of the month of December. And probably we'll have the game against Walsall on the 1st of January as well, as we look to progress in towards the January transfer window, where we do have some money to spend and some wage budget available, but with so many players running out of contract, that wage budget might get eaten up. we shall wait and see what happens in January. I have not a real clear plan as to what I'm going to do, but we've got some time to figure it out, so I shall figure it out. Whilst you guys drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel, make sure you haven't missed out on anything else of this save or the Journeyman save that continues, of course, every weekday as well. One went live earlier on today at 12 PM. Come and join me on stream, anywhere, here, Kick, YouTube, Twitch, that is here. But for now, that's all for me for today and for the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully Cambridge get a win, and I'll see you back here on Monday.